What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 18. We're continuing the storyline from the last two episodes, so let's just get straight to it. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and let's get into it. I'm very curious what Suirei and Shisui's plan here is. Because I theorized about it, like what their plan might be last episode, but I'm very much not sure. I definitely know masks are going to come into things here, because these masks all are of the same, like, base design as the ones we saw that were being prepared for a festival at the end of last episode. Obviously, it also just works well as a, like, visual metaphor of everyone wearing masks and hiding things and that kind of stuff, but I'm very curious to see just what else is going on here. There's also this character that has that, like, finger ornament thing that I believe shows up earlier in the opening as well, that we are bound to meet at some point here. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we meet them in this episode. They might be in this town. Yeah, there still are a few characters in this opening that I don't think we've met. So, we'll see. Inevitably, we'll have stuff of Jinchi trying to track her down, though. Alright, starting with Jinchi. Ah, right, stuff was happening with Gyokyo. Yeah, what I thought. Okay. Of course, this complicates things on Jinchi's end. Alright, Loman's already here. Ah, and the Quack Doctor. That's good. Okay. Oh, that is very good. That makes things a lot less worrisome. 10 days, Jesus Christ, okay. Huh. Lacan must know at this point if he didn't already. Oh, oh, poor doctor. Yeah, that is fair. In a way, that can be good. Everyone panicking wouldn't be good, but one person. Hmm? Something else? Ah. What did we learn? Hmm. Yeah, okay. They don't even realize who that was. Makes sense. Fair. Okay. Oh, a floor plan? Yeah, the graveyard. We saw Suirei there. Mmm. I had a slight suspicion that that might be who these graves were to. Interesting. They have to have some kind of connection to that then. Yeah. Clearly she has some kind of connection to those people. Ah, but it leads them to her. Okay. Yes, it is. Gonna stop her? Oh. Interesting. That's how she gets caught. Wow. Yeah, he just let it fly. He did not play his usual self. Just turns it back on. Oh, you're screwed. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's bad. Oh, I feel so bad for her, but also don't at the same time. That is so fucked up. I mean, obviously we knew that, but it sucks. And he had the same smile. The performance. Oh, that's gross to think about. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, someone's catching on. Oh, this is so weird and gross. Ah! But it makes her realize. Ooh, the cutout of the music. The cutout of the music there was great. She's gonna get away. Oh. Oh, wow, that's dedication. Wow. And of course, they don't have Mau Mau here to help, and Loman's busy. Yeah. Nothing casual about it. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, that. Oh, if you connect that, that would make you so afraid. Hmm. Okay. He was viewed as illegitimate, at least for a time. Okay. Yeah, why? Huh. I can't say I expected to have that kind of moment in this episode, but God, was that good. In like the worst way possible, but God, was it good. It was well done, is what I mean. Yeah, things both of them say. But you can do a lot. Yeah. Oh. Huh. Hmm? Oh, that's who that was. Hmm. Oh. Tying it back to the affair with the doctor. Okay. Interesting. Does that mean that Shisui and Suirei are half sisters? Ah. Yeah, he's piecing it together. Okay. So I take it that means that Suirei is the child of the doctor, and Shisui is Laolin, who is the child of Shisho. I guess we'll know if Lolin is even here. It's possible she's just another child of the same people. Okay, she is here. Alright, that complicates things. Unless she's a double. She isn't talking. Yeah. Ah. Ha! Yeah, it's a double. Yeah. God, he's getting aggressive. But that one freckle, or mole rather. Yeah. Wow, he's getting aggressive. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. He's going a little far here. Oh my god. Jinchi, you're going a bit far. Oh, he's angry. Yeah, you were getting a bit aggressive there, bud. I don't think we've ever seen him that angry. Yeah, you gotta calm down. Okay. So my theory still holds. And everything is answered by them just having doubles. That removes any complications. She really is outside of the palace. Yeah. Yeah, that is true, I suppose. Hmm. Mm. Yeah. It's much more complicated. But you're on the right path. You're figuring shit out. Oh. Oh, he's only now learning? I thought he would know by now. Oh my god. Where's he gonna go? What the fuck? If there's one thing he cares about other than his wife. Okay, they were keeping it from him. That makes sense. Oh. Of course he'd go into hiding. All right, things are falling apart. Okay, good. Fair. Makes sense. Yeah. Wow, it was just her. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. Hmm. Yeah. People outside of the rear palace can do that. Hmm? Who is this? Hmm? Okay, someone educated. Oh, is this the person in the opening that's behind Lacan? Okay. Yeah, all right. Oh, an adopted son? Okay. Interesting. All right. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Siphoning money? Huh. Yeah. And then you can buy stuff that you shouldn't. Makes sense. And there's a certain someone missing. Okay. So asking permission to investigate further, I guess? Oh? Oh my god! The destruction was massive. Okay. Interesting contrast that it looks like he's being portrayed more as like a dog or fox. Interesting character. Mmm. Use all at your disposal. Okay. And now we return to Mau Mau. Alright. I'm still surprised they let her keep the hairpin. There's one of the masks. Wow, okay. Whole episode on just Jinshi. This entire episode is fucking wild. As is the case for this entire arc, this episode is just domino after domino falling. Things have been set up for so long now, since season 1, and now we are beginning to see the results of all of these setups. Concubine Lolin was already an interesting figure who was strange and quiet and enigmatic, and this explains why. She was a spy, presumably for her father, who had countless similar-looking servants who could be her body double so that she could go around doing whatever. This obviously looking to the theory of Lolin being Shisui, which at this point is all but confirmed in my mind. It removes any obstacle of that. It's not complicated to explain how she can be around in her Shisui identity and Lolin be accounted for. But then also we get the information that though all the dots aren't necessarily connected by Jinshi, we get enough information that we can piece it together that almost certainly Shisui and Suirei are half-sisters from the same mother, seeing as Shisho's wife is none other than someone who was in the Rear Palace, had a illegitimate child with a doctor, the baby was taken by the doctor, and nobody knows what happened to the doctor and the child, but we know that the woman ended up getting married to Shisho and having a child. At which point we just need to extrapolate to figure out that obviously Suirei and Shisui at some point found each other again, or rather potentially Suirei found her mother, which leads her to Shisho and Shisui, where they then get to know each other. And from there, they can then be working together for whatever conspiracy they are part of. It is fairly obvious at this point that Shisho is trying to assassinate Jinshi, among other things. It is unclear what his end goal with this is, and it's unclear how deep this goes, how complicated this gets, all that kind of stuff, but the pieces are coming together. We have a web of who's connected and why. We have the two half-sisters who were working together on their own fronts for this conspiracy for Shisho, presumably, if not just directly their mother. That's the other thing. It's entirely possible that Shisho is not actually directly involved in this. He might have an idea of what's going on, but he might not be directly involved. It's actually entirely possible that this is entirely the work of his wife, the mother of Suirei and Shisui, which the more I think about it, the more likely I think it is that that person in the opening with the little like claw ornament is actually the mother. That would make sense to me. But beyond this just direct family relations, we then also have at least one person in the rear palace who was helping them. That being Shenlu, who obviously we already knew had a reason to despise the rear palace and the royal family. And that comes to a head here in this episode. Shenlu, when looking at Jinshi, probably they haven't really ever had any interactions, because why would Jinshi ever need to interact with her that much? But now, face to face with him, seeing his aggressive, angry grabbing of her and questioning her, and then immediate flip to just this polite, false smile, jogs her memory of who he looks like. That of the late emperor, someone who has done horrible things to her. It is an incredibly rough scene that is done so well. And of course, it would terrify her at least a little bit, looking at Jinshi and going, this is the son of the man who did horrible things to me. But she has at least enough of the courage to call him out, saying, what are you doing posing as a eunuch? Before she tries to escape, and when that fails, tries to kill herself using poison. They manage to stop her, she manages to survive, she hasn't woken up yet, but she does survive, so they might be able to question her. But what is particularly interesting about this is when she calls him out and basically says, I know who you are, or at least have a sense, it shocks him, unable to react to anything, as it seemingly just like brings him back to his childhood and the question, why is he doing this? Why did he take on the Jinshi identity? He questions it himself later. And it's around this that we get a flashback to when he was a child and seeing that he was of the royal family not treated well. Others would question if he was truly a legitimate child, questioning where he got his looks from, that kind of thing. By the time he was born, very few people would recognize they had the features and appearance of a younger version of the former emperor. And it's from here that we have an internal narration from Jinshi where he says he believed those rumors. He believed he was not a legitimate child, and he tried to escape, at least in part because of that. And it turns out that his Jinshi identity is how he has tried to escape. It can't go on forever. He will have to exit this identity someday, but this is how he's tried to escape. But he's beginning to question, what the hell am I doing? He had begged the emperor, his brother, to let him take on this identity, and he questions, all for what? Why am I doing this? I was running away, but why have I done this? But no revelation comes from this at this moment. It merely is a moment of self-reflection more than anything, with no true direct conclusion of what he should do going forward, as he is trying to stay focused on what he needs to do. Find Mao Mao, figure out what's going on, and everything else that's spiraling out of control. It is a very interesting thing to learn about Jinshi. It explains a good amount of his character. He is at his happiest when around people like Mao Mao, people who don't necessarily treat him like his position implies, his true position. His position as Jinshi also has a lot of reputation and power and influence that he also enjoys being able to interact with people that don't even treat him to that level of respect. In his attempt to escape this life and this family and this status that he has found someone in Mao Mao who, though she does occasionally bring up their difference in status, and that in reality he has full control over her, he likes that she often does not treat him like anyone else does. And I think it partially might come down to this. We can see that he is at his most happiest when he is with Mao Mao and not acting in position of authority. He still wields his authority, he is still comfortable in his authority, yet he is at his happiest when he is not wielding it. I think back to when he was disguised as a servant of Mao Mao. He clearly was very happy at the time, and that just sort of slots a lot of things into position for me, I think, for Jinshi. But from there we can also see in this episode that his desire to find Mao Mao, his connection to her, leads him to take far more drastic action than he otherwise would. It starts by just a split-second instinct reaction to grab Shenlu's arm to question her, where is Mao Mao? That is the first time that his attitude shifts, where his mask falls off for a brief moment. He very quickly calms himself, puts the mask back on, and carries onward, but in that brief moment of instinct, He is merely thinking she knows something about where Mao Mao is. I need to stop her from leaving. And that is what he does. Very few things have been able to shake that mask. Seems like in this episode, it falls completely off at a few times. All because of Mao Mao. And obviously, the other main point where that is the case in this episode is when he meets with concubine Lolin, or at least her double. He goes full mask off with them. He bats the fan out of the double's hand, gets in her face, pins her down basically, questions her aggressively, pure just anger in his eyes, grabbing her by the face as he does it, not even stopping for a moment as she's crying. In this moment, he is of a single mind, proving that this is not Lolin. That is what his goal here is. And he lets his mask completely fall off for that time. Afterwards, once people literally are like, hey, be merciful, stop please, he finally is able to step back, calm himself, and get his mask back on. But it is shaky from that point on, and we shall see how well he keeps it on in the next episode. But from here, there's really only a couple more things I'd like to touch on. One of which is, it seems Lacan did not know that Mao Mao was missing, and he's only learning about it now. And he has gone on a fucking tirade because of that. He has caused a ton of destruction, shouting that he is coming for Mao Mao. We shall see what that leads to, if anything, but it means that Lacan is now in the race to try to find Mao Mao. I would not be surprised if this leads to Jinshi and Lacan working together in some fashion here, as their goals are aligned in this moment. And connected to that, the other thing that I wish to touch on is none other than Lacan's adopted son. An interesting development to know that he has another child, one that's adopted. Lacan is an interesting character so far. We obviously don't get a ton from him, but what we do get shows us that he has the same shrewd, intuitive mind as Lacan. We shall see how many more similarities he has to his adoptive father in the future, presumably, but at least for now, we can see that he is very much his father's child. We obviously don't know enough yet to say for certain where that comes from. It's entirely possible that just by being raised by Lacan, he developed a very capable and intelligent mind, while also the alternative makes plenty of sense as well, being that his shrewd intelligence is what drew Lacan to him and made Lacan want to adopt him. It's also possible it's a little bit of both, but we shall see more about Lacan in the future. In this episode, we only get so much of them, but what I find interesting just from a characterization standpoint, one of the main identifying things we can get on them is that they have the same thing that Mao Mao does, where sometimes in sort of more goofy moments to express the feelings of the character, they develop ears. In Mao Mao's case, it's cat ears, but in the case of Lacan, it seems like it is either fox or dog. Looking at it right now, the tail and ears look a little bit more fox-like to me. It's possible that their name is associated with foxes or dogs as well. I wouldn't know just offhand, just like how I didn't recognize the Mao Mao to Meow Meow connection until way too late. But it's just interesting to me that the other child of Lacan has this same visual flair, but with a different animal. It serves as a similarity and a contrast. And just thinking about it, just character-wise, though we don't know too much about them yet, I feel like Fox makes a little bit more sense, just because if we think about it, Mao Mao, character-wise, very much aligns with a cat. We had the joke in a previous episode of how so much of her behavior lines up with what a cat behaves like. Where meanwhile, if Lacan is anything like Lacan, I would describe their style of intellect and behavior much more like a cunning fox. But I feel like it's an interesting detail, regardless of what exactly it's supposed to mean. But other than that, I don't immediately have any other major moments coming to mind that I haven't talked about. So with that, I think I will leave things here. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.